Joining me today is Michael York, who's the acting director of the New Hampshire Department of Cultural Resources. And Michael, during the commercial break, I was reminded by my producer that I forgot about history. And if you forget about history, you're going to repeat it. So before we get to the arts and film and media, what's the role of the history division?
The primary role for the history division is to, in fact, make the citizens in the state aware that as one of the early provinces, we date, in Portsmouth, we date from 1623, just a few years after Plymouth Rock. So there's a tremendous amount of heritage here in New Hampshire, and it's the responsibility of the Division of Historical Resources, Elizabeth Muzzy is the director of that division, to make sure that our citizens are aware of the important components of history in New Hampshire's culture.
Is it printed materials? Is it buildings?
Oh, it's
artifacts. How does that work?
Well, it's both artifacts and buildings primarily. The state library is really responsible for trying to protect our printed materials, our important documents. We've been around for 300 years, and so we have been collecting lots of materials. But the Division of Historical Resources helps communities and individuals restore buildings and also to protect them. They do have regulatory responsibilities as well. There is a process known as 106, and this started over 50 years ago. They just celebrated, as a matter of fact, the 50th anniversary. Originally, you'll remember that during the 50s and 60s especially, there was a tremendous amount of construction of interstate highways. And there were concerns that historic materials, artifacts, archaeological sites might be disturbed as they're putting in an off-ramp in a locale. And so the federal government felt it was important, as part of the process of putting in the interstate highways, which have become incredibly important in the United States, that we not disturb in many cases, the burial grounds.
Well, there are archaeological sites.
So that is a major responsibility for the Division of Historical Resources. And
I got to stop you, because if we're going to get close to time, and there's two other divisions, film and media. Being in TV, I've got to talk about film and media.
Absolutely.
Is that an economic driver for the state?
Well, all four of our the divisions are economic drivers. I can speak a little bit about a commission that was established by House Bill 279 in the last session of the legislature. But specifically, film and television is a very small department, the division. We have one person. Matt Newton is the director of the Division of Film and Media Services. And the budget for that division is very small. It's about $100,000 a year. And last year, in 2016, we're still collecting data from 2016, but Matt sort of tells me every week that the contribution of the Division of Media has contributed another $100,000. So we're up to $1.7 million that is directly trackable to the services that division has provided to people who are doing, in some cases, feature films, although those are very limited in New Hampshire, but lots of television advertising, those types of things. So there's a direct impact. We're obviously not where California is, or New York, or even Boston, but for a small state, we're doing very, very well. And it's largely due to the, frankly, the outstanding service that Matt Newton provides to anybody who calls up and says, I'm thinking about what we might do in New Hampshire.
And he facilitates
he facilitates
with
it, yeah.
locations and
Right.
people?
He does a great deal of that, and he meets with them and takes care of any kind of problems they have.
And I got to stop you here because I have a problem. I have to go to a commercial break. But when we return, we're going to continue. We're going to focus on the Council of the Arts, and we're going to also talk more about the economic activities involved with the Department of Cultural Resources. So please stay with us.